know what they want. I 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 know what they want.
Welcome. Figured I'd start trying to do some other videos to get the creative juices flowing. We got Oliver over here, patiently waiting. We got some pizza, and I wanted to try some stuff while we watched this movie together. I wanted to test to see video games. Man, they kill the copyright like bad. Probably why my views killed on YouTube. Learning more settings. There's a lot to this, and it's kind of cool. I didn't start having this CPU problem until like you could start putting your phone on there. I can't find the setting to turn that off. I don't want to put my phone on there no more. Oh well. So without further ado, I wanted to try some Fiesta Fire from Ink Gardener. I got this because I got second place in Heat Feasters. It's Heat Feaster Society. It's a pretty cool club. There's a lot of big people in it. So, y'all should get involved. It's kind of cool. I had fun all last season. It was a very cool experience for me. So I figured I got some pizza. I turned a free pizza into a $5 pizza that I got delivered. And then not only was it delivered, I gave a $4. Never mind. Oops, took that away. Let's try some Ink Gardener Fiesta Citrus. So, the ingredients are, before I try it, a blend of sea salt, citrus, hot pepper powder, black pepper, onion powder, Italian spices, garlic, cilantro. Great with chicken, fish, seafood, barbecue, pork, and more. Well, there's what I got on the Domino's pizza was steak, onion, and then their Alfredo. I just imagined barbecue and then that flavor kicked in. I normally get a barbecue chicken. That's what I should have got it on. Let's throw some Jennifer and Mark's 7-pot hot sauce. Fire it up. Thanks again. This was a Christmas gift from them. Mark grew them. He is an amazing grower, y'all. A lot of people think I'm good. Huh? How much I used already. I already used a whole thing of that Doc's Fusion, y'all. I might give Mark one. For Mark and them. Forgive me. So yes, later on, I did want to try. Not a lot of people got these, but I do got a few of these Heart of the Dragon hot sauces. I did want to open one of these. My buddy Chad got one. These labels turned out pretty fire, y'all. I need to get used to y'all being right there. But yes, I did want to review. The reason why I want to call this AhmLit Conspiracies is because a lot of people don't know there's a lot of conspiracies behind the Carolina Reaper and the 7-pot Primo. And Mike Rowe, I like Mike Rowe. And so this got me interested, and I wanted to watch it, and I figured try out these little doohickeys and watch it with y'all. Now, why? Hmm. There, that might help. So, forgive me. I'm new to this. I'm not new. I don't know why I turned it off. So, let's go back. So, without further ado, this is how Ed Curry, the creator of the Carolina Reaper, the world's hottest chili pepper, this is how his story on how it came about. So I'm a shut up for a minute and
I'm not trying to apostolize to anybody, but I saw an angel, okay? There was snow in my house and there was no footprints. And all it said to me is, you need to go to Brighton Hospital. I was pretty lit at the time. I was willing to do just about anything. But that doctor with the nanorobots, he and I started talking, and he was looking at my research, and he was looking at other research that I showed him, and he goes, man, you got something here.
I want to talk really in depth with you about a couple things, your own story, obviously, but let's start with this obsession with peppers, not just yours, but when did this happen? When did the country really latch onto this? Oh, and by the way, I watched episode 2 of We Are the Champions, and I loved it on Netflix, and I think that that's going to play an even bigger role, I guess, in just getting this whole crazy world out into the mainstream.
Yeah, it's really, it's the media that's catching up to the craze. The craze, my take on it is that when they opened the doors to immigration back in the late 80s, early 90s, and more of the Asia Minor influence and the Southeast Asian influence and Africa and Central America and South America. You know, when we were growing up, exotic food was going to the Chinese restaurant down at the corner, okay? There wasn't a lot of different foods. So in the late 80s, early 90s, all these cultures came in and they brought with them their foods and they started opening restaurants. And people, okay, let's go try what a Thai restaurant is as opposed to, Chinese. And that caught on really quick. People don't understand that, like in 2004, hot sauce overtook ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise as the #1 condiment in the United States. Really? 2006, it was salsa got into second place. The general public in America caught on to this craze in the early 2000s. It wasn't in.
now I don't know if you're supposed to stop too, but when I was 16, wings were 10 cents on Tuesdays at Mike's Pizza Pub. I guess now it's called the Local. But 10-cent wings, man. I think 51 was my record, dude, and it was $5.10. Wings are insane now. Anyways.
Until I got the Guinness record in 2013, and an AP reporter did a story that went worldwide on it, that the rest of the media started catching on to this. Hey, there's something going on here. But literally, and I'm quoting a study that Bonnie Plants did. They did a study of 50 million households in the United States because they wanted to see would Reaper plants sell. Mm-hmm. And 37.8 million of those households identified themselves as eating very spicy food. And over 32 million of them knew me by name. Okay, and this was in like 2017, 2018. So the culture is out there. It's the media that is catching up to that culture.
When did you know? When did you know the pepper would be the hinge upon which your life pivoted, and how did you get to the Reaper?
Okay, well, I got to the Reaper by breeding a pepper. Uh, back when I lived in Detroit, there was a doctor from Pakistan. He had been a royal Saudi doctor, and he had a place in Grosse Pointe right on the water. It was beautiful. He used to bring me back peppers. Him and his kids would bring me back peppers from Pakistan, back when you weren't allowed to go to Pakistan. And I liked those peppers, so I kept those seeds and kept on growing them. And then a woman named Joan up at, it was First Union at the time, she was from St. Vincent. And Joan kept on telling me, I don't know pepper, okay, because I bring her in peppers and hot sauce for her and her husband. And she bought me a pepper from St. Vincent off the volcano La Soufrière. And I bred that pepper from La Soufrière with 9 other peppers, okay? That was the HP line, higher power line. We had a whole bunch of different things we were breeding in the back. That one happened to be HP. So that's where the Reaper originated from. When I knew that it was something special, I did a contest called the Charlotte Ventures, okay? And I was like 4th in line to do my presentation. This was for $50,000, and we needed the money. You know, we needed the money at the time. And the first person who presented was a woman doctor, and she's, I've got a staff of 400. We want to bring on 2 more researchers. I've come up with a pinprick test for breast cancer that's 90% accurate, you know. And she talked a bunch of science. The next guy.
Well, that's pretty cool. Here, hold on. I think you got to make breaks or something in between.
I was a doctor who was using nanorobots to deliver chemotherapy into cancer patients, targeting the cancer cells with 10% of the side effects of normal chemotherapy. And the next one was they were doing something with lung cancer. And so I got up and I said, I'm smoking Ed Curry. I invented the hottest pepper in the world, and I don't belong here, you know?
Right.
And I got 3rd place. Ha! Okay. But that doctor with the nanorobots, he and I started talking, and he was looking at my research, and he was looking at other research that I showed him, and he goes, man, you got something here. And I wasn't looking to get the hottest pepper in the world. It was testing as the hottest pepper in the world. But what people don't know is it's very high in a subcapsinoid that has a key on it that when you get it to a cancer cell, it causes an autoimmune sequence that kills the cell.
Well, that's super cool, isn't it? So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and try it. Oh, well, that's kind of wrong. Yes, let's try Heart of the Dragon. Yeah, did you hear that? That's awesome. Aged. Man, that's so freaking awesome. I remember when we used to all be scared of it. The garlic. Man, that's so awesome. Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Woo. Tell me what you think. Not you, Oliver. I didn't say give Mark and Jan a follow. They're cool people. Mark will give you motivation. He actually runs and does stuff. Me, I just eat.
And it's missing another capsaicinoid that's prevalent in that
So,
species of pepper, Chinese peppers. So we have something special here that the medical community is looking at, and we, not too far after that, Doctor.
this one's, I didn't even cheat with this one. So, I remember I sent a bottle to Pepper Princess. I put some, it was the number 6, or Mark of the Beast, extract in it, and she tried it. After trying all my other ones, you need to give her a follow. Man, she's a beast. But, yeah, man, I fit like 21 7-pot Primos per bottle.
From Sloan Kettering talked about the cancer research, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the background. I knew I had something because all these doctors were telling me I had something. Okay, and I'm no doctor. I've done a lot of different things, and I know basic chemistry and basic botany and things like that. But these guys really let me know there was something special going on. I really didn't care about it being the hottest
My
pepper
nose
in
is
the world
running.
until people started challenging me on Facebook, and I didn't find out about it until they started challenging me, because I never used Facebook really before that, just taking pictures and stuff. But it took 4 years to get the Guinness World Record, and then I knew I really had something special because people came at me from all over the world.
But it just seems like two totally different verticals, right? Like you're in the
Yeah.
food business and you're building something that people like it because it tastes good and it makes their food interesting versus curing cancer. I mean,
Well,
that's a
I got some of the coolest labels in the world, too. Not the world, but yeah. I mean, Elijah's. You got to see this in person. These ones are kind of like it. I need to send one of these to my buddy.
the science, there's a lot of science, okay, that shows that natural things are better
No,
for you in
dude.
challenging diseases than the chemicals that they've come up with through the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm not degrading those at all because, like, my mother had lung cancer. She suffered for a long time. The medicine kept her alive, and that's what she wanted from it because she wanted to see her grandchildren. So everything has its place. I just think that there are things out there. We used to cure disease with natural things before the 60s, and there is science that shows those things work. It's just now pushed aside by advertising. You need a pill instead of eating healthy. You need, to buy this bottled water instead of drinking spring water. You need to, different. It's about other. It's the greed. Remember we talked about the greed factor. Greed came into play in the mid 80s when people started making a lot of money in the financial institute. I was part of that. I wanted big money for big drugs. Uh, so the greed factor came in, and it wasn't about how can we help people, it's about how we can take advantage of people. And that has just proliferated until, the last few years, a lot of businessmen that I know have started looking into how they can serve their customer base instead of how they can grow their customer base.
Dude, we got
how they can,
stop.
how they can serve their communities instead of how can I make money off of this.
Is there a link?
I don't
is there
need
a
a
link in it
stopper no
between
more.
the potency of the peppers themselves? Like the hotter they get, are the doctors telling you that that's going to be the proximate cause of some new cure, essentially?
Yes, that is essentially
My
it.
dog's
And
tolerance
there's a
are
doctor
higher than a
up
lot of people's
up at Sanford
tolerance. It's kinda
who is
crazy.
doing obesity studies with kids. Okay, and he is using Carolina Reaper specifically because of the properties inside of Carolina Reaper in his regimen to get these kids from being morbidly obese back to a normal weight and stop producing yellow fat and start producing brown fat. Now, it's in conjunction with other
I remember
things.
learning a little bit about that.
But he specifically states that it's the compounds in the Reaper that are accelerating this process. And I'm not, I made a joke. I was like, okay, so they got chronic diarrhea, They
Yeah, the
can't
pounds
keep
really come off.
Yeah, the pounds come off, but it's not like that at all. It's used medicinally in very small doses to keep their metabolisms accelerated and to help switch that sugar addiction. It's just
I don't
it's just
care,
our
man.
brains
Mine's
wanting
hot
drugs.
as a lot of
Okay,
people.
the sugar is just like
Right.
heroin, is just like pot or alcohol or whatever. Is our brain craving that drug? And when you fill those receptors that are looking for that certain drug, that drug doesn't mean much anymore. The receptors are already filled. So it helps wean off of the addictive bad things and put it back in good things like eating healthily. And I don't
And
look
I
like I
got
eat healthy.
alcohol.
I actually do, with the exception of ice
let me
cream.
put this
I've
on.
Yeah,
actually,
but once upon a time, Ed, a time, if I remember right, you were tipping the scales at 360, 370, something like that.
368 was what I weighed when I went into treatment.
Well, Craven
I,
Capsaicin did a
I started drinking and doing drugs
shot.
at a very
It was
young
like a 1
age.
ounce
Probably by
shot.
13, I was a full-blown addict. Just could not live a day without it. And I did everything I could to get what I needed. Okay, from robbing my parents' liquor cabinet to, we used to do back in the 70s. You could pimp liquor. Someone old enough would take $5 from you and get you a pint of whatever, and they'd keep the change. That kind of thing.
Sure.
But I had to, sell drugs to get the money to get liquor and drugs, and I spiraled down that. I was successful,
$5
went
to
to
buy a
college,
pint.
did a whole
Man,
bunch of other stuff,
not like
started
that
the
now.
research on peppers, got jobs. I mean, I was successful at what I was doing.
remember you.
But in the background, I was drinking all day long every day and getting high all day long every day. And it got to a point where there was no other goal. Okay, really, there was no other goal. Everything I did was to get to that next fix, no matter what that fix was. And it took me to a real dark place, to the point where
Undo the bad,
no one,
bad stuff.
my family wasn't talking to me really. My friends weren't talking to me unless they wanted to get high or drunk. My wife had left me. It was really bad. But I decided to kill myself one night, and I was going to do that by drinking myself to death and doing as much cocaine as I could. I had forgotten that I had all this other dope in the house that would have done it a whole lot faster because I was so focused on what my mission was, And it was a blizzard in Michigan at the time. There was a shit ton of snow coming down. If you've ever been to Michigan in January, it's cold as hell. Okay,
It's cold.
just cold
It's
as
cold.
hell.
And
All
Ed,
right?
this is what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, this was 99. January of '99, 24 years ago.
24 years. All right, go ahead.
So I had opened the doors and windows to my little condo there, and I stripped naked, which had to be
When
a
I
sight
was
to see,
16,
you know.
10-cent wings.
and I
368 pounds, you're
Yeah.
naked.
I thought I was God's gift to women then, you know. The only reason any woman talked to me was to get high, you know. But, you know, I sat at the table and I
I didn't
literally
get to
started drinking
experience
myself
that,
to death.
man.
And at the time, I was pounding down about 1.5 gallons of liquor a day. I mean, I had a serious habit
That's a
going.
lot.
Yeah, I didn't
booze,
eat for like a half a year. All I did was drink Slim Fast and vodka, you know, and that was my nutrition. And, you know, I'm not trying to apostolize to anybody, but I saw an angel, okay? There was snow in my house and there was no footprints, all right? And this angel
Literal angel. A
literal angel. It was an aberration, and it kind of freaked me out, you know. And this aberration told me to go to Brighton Hospital. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go to Brighton Hospital. That sounds like a good idea. So at the time, I had 2 cars out there, and one was a Camaro RS T-Top, okay? And instead of taking the safe vehicle out into the blizzard, I loaded up the Camaro with alcohol and drugs and some clothes and guns, and I drove out into the blizzard to find Brighton Hospital. But,
Hold on,
you
Ed.
know,
Hold on.
sorry, yeah.
Hold on.
Wait.
Yeah. If we're going to go there, I'm pretty sure I know what Chuck is going to ask, but I'm not positive. But I mean, we can't gloss over the angel.
okay.
Boy, girl, androgynous.
It was female. It was definitely female. It had boobs, you know. So, and it was bright white. I mean, bright white, and it
like
had
radiating light, or like light coming externally.
no, just lit up. I really, you know, it was kind of like backlighting, but forward lighting too. Okay, the light came through the door, and there was this angel there. And the angel was whiter than the light behind it, okay? And that's what I saw. And all it said to me is, you need to go to Brighton Hospital. And I was, okay.
Well, yeah. So my question is, so this angel, and you know immediately it's an angel. It's some sort of.
I had no
described it
idea
as an
what the
apparition.
hell it was, okay?
But you said, I'm going to do with this whatever this is telling me to do.
I was pretty lit at the time. I was willing to do just about anything, okay? And
Did you feel in any distress at all? Like you
no,
needed to go to the hospital?
actually,
Who knows about that? Comment below. I can't believe it's $11 for X or Twitter to go live on Twitter. So, playing that only uses 2% of my CPU, so what's the other 30%? It can't be the background. I forgot I need to set up a screen. Ask Pepper Princess, man. There's not a whole lot of these bottles. It burns you from within, too. It's like, well, it was formerly known as Heart of the Devil, but people don't like that name. I'll leave it at that. Well,
all that feeling I had inside of wanting to kill myself, and all that like fear and shame and guilt, it just boom.
It went away.
You need to go to Brighton Hospital now. Okay, Ed, let's pack. And I literally started packing. It was an immediate thing. The thing disappeared. I looked for footprints because I thought, oh wow, that was pretty cool, but there were no footprints, you know. And that was that, man. Within 20 minutes, I was in the car.
Did you feel sober suddenly in that moment?
No, I did. I was still high. I hadn't felt sober in probably 20 years, good 20 years. All right. But I don't know what normal is, and I don't know.
California was different. It worked for alcohol. It served its purpose. That's the one I had the problem with for sure.
Know if there's any change. Okay. I didn't at the time. I only knew that I started shaking if I went more than an hour without drinking or getting high. I knew I got sick if it got to 2 hours. That's all I knew in life.
Dude, this is an amazing, I mean, holy cow.
Well, it's the truth, my legal team doesn't like me talking about it, but it's the truth. Okay. And I cannot deny the miracle that happened to me. All right.
Awesome.
That's just it.
That's awesome, for real.
So go on.
So
You
I
see
get
how
in
he
the
didn't
car,
even
go out in the
flinch?
Camaro in the snow,
That's
which is
so
the
cool.
brightest idea in the whole world, just in case I need the T-tops, I don't know what I was thinking. But I started driving around. I knew where Brighton, Michigan was, so I kind of figured Brighton Hospital was out there. It's not in any phone books, okay? Because at the time, internet was, you saw the AOL things at the grocery store, but there really was no internet, and it wasn't on the internet that I had. I started driving around Brighton. I was like, no, this is useless. And I went to a friend's house that was in the next town down, Wixom Lake. And they were like, what are you doing? I said, I saw an angel. I'm trying to get to Brighton Hospital. They were like, Ed, have a drink, calm down. And I was just too hyper for it. So overnight, they went to sleep because this was like 2 a.m. And then the next morning, they had talked with my family, told them what was going on, and said, we know where the sign is for Brighton Hospital. And I got some liquor because I don't like going anywhere without having enough liquor with me. And we were getting high and stuff. And we get to Brighton Hospital, and I knocked on the door, and they said, what do you want? And I said, an angel sent me here, And they were like, oh,
Great.
yeah.
We have an angel wing set up
We
right
get
over
this
here.
all the time.
And they sat me down. And they started talking about rehab, and I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong place. This isn't where the angel sent me. I was immediately, hey, we got to get out of here. Okay. This was not part of my plan. And they asked me if I had a problem, and I said, no, I don't have a problem with anything, And Carl, who was with me, handed me a flask of Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. I honestly don't remember which. It was bourbon. A pint, and I drank it down and put it down, kept on talking to him like nothing was going on. And they were like, maybe you want to sit here for a second while we talk, okay? And then some old guy came in who I later found out was like one of the techs there, and he's trying to talk to me, and they're trying to get me to fill out this thing. And I was like, okay, I'll stay the night, And like 5 days later, I woke up when they were jabbing phenobarb in my ass to keep me from convulsing.
So how long were you there total?
I stayed there for 33 days.
I think this is interesting.
My insurance
Figured
at
I'd
the
share
time
it with
covered
y'all.
like 2 weeks.
Spirituality
I had that,
through capsaicin.
that Detroit area union insurance. You got a
only the
2 week
best.
vacation
Oh, yeah,
in the
supposed to
winter,
watch
2
that.
week vacation in the summer for substance abuse, but you couldn't do more than 2 weeks at a time. So I didn't even know my insurance was paying. My
There
attorney
we
came.
go.
I said, you just write
Okay,
them
that
whatever
works.
checks they need, and I stayed there until they told me I had to go, and then I stayed there for another 32 months,
Oh, yeah.
33 months in
Dang.
total. I didn't
Can't
stay at the hospital
I'm
that whole
blocking
time, but I
the-
was in. I stayed at a place on a lake that was about a mile away. I thought I had lost my license. It turns out I never had lost my license. So I started walking back and forth to the hospital every day.
How far?
It was, mile and a half, 2 miles.
So is that how you
maybe
started to
long.
lose weight as well?
Oh, yeah. By the time I left Brighton Hospital, I was down to 165 pounds. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And feeling pretty good about myself, you know?
You lost 200 pounds. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Just to recap, you're 368
That's a lot.
pounds. You're at the bottom of the barrel. You open up your condo. It's freezing cold. The snow blows in. You take off all your clothes and you drink all the liquor you can find. An angel comes, tells you to go to Brighton Hospital. You go. You stay for 33 days. And then you come and go, walking back and forth to the hospital for another 3 years.
Yeah, essentially. A little less than 3 years.
You lose 200 pounds in the course of this. And basically, when did you believe you had beaten your addiction? Or do you believe you've beaten it? Or do you believe you've just replaced it with capsaicin?
I believe that God has relieved me of the want or need for any mood-altering, mind-changing substance that might be illegal at this time or not illegal at this time. I have no desire to get high in any way, shape, or form. However, I would be remiss in not saying that I catch a pretty good buzz off of peppers and caffeine, okay? One of the reasons I lost so much weight is because I pretty much lived on cigarettes and caffeine that whole time.
When I started drinking warm water to lose weight, my friends laughed at me. But when they saw how fast I was changing, they started doing it themselves. You probably heard that as you get older, your body will never be the same.
Well, that was pretty cool. So, I'm having phone charging issues. So I don't know, I like Mike Rowe, and I thought that would be kind of cool to have him and watch that. I don't know. As always, thank you for watching and have a blessed day. Let's see, I think we should end it here first.